Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Welcome back to another episode of Pour Your Own Problems. I am your host, Mercy. And today we're going to discuss the fiasco that's going on with TSA. And the fact that Democrats are simply just playing in our faces along with Congress. Because I'm not going to be biased in this video as people like to often think I am. Because while they get to go home, while they get to go do what they want to do with their families and collect a check, meaning Congress, you have American citizens that are going without paychecks and still trying to conduct and do their jobs. I think that's a bunch of BS, and I think it's a bunch of crap. And the fact that Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, these individuals, like these two, are trying to hide behind the Trump administration as if it's this administration and the Republicans' fault for this shutdown, when clearly we have to use our context clues. They shut the government down in November, Democrats. They shut the government down a few weeks ago. A partial now with just TSA being affected. But they want to hide behind the Trump administration, and that's why I'm glad that he put out a report that he's thinking about moving ICE and Border Patrol into our airports, which I think is a brilliant idea just in general, but we'll get there. Let's review how Congress is just sliding through the airport while you sitting in lines. Right now, you can see Congresswoman Mace, and the video's on mute simply because they're playing music in the background. And you know how YouTube do. Remarkable, right? They ain't waiting in no lines. They get to go home to their family. And then they still get to receive a paycheck, regardless if the government is shut down or not. And I think that is BS on all levels, no matter what aisle you may stand on. I think there's total BS, and it needs to be eradicated from our government. Anytime the government shuts down, Congress should be one of the first individuals to not receive a paycheck. Will it ever happen? No, I don't know. I don't think so, because they hold the purse strings to the United States of America. But I think it's something that we should be looking upon, especially them receiving checks when the government is shut down, as well as term limits for these individuals. But we'll leave that for another day. Let's continue to review the destructive ways that this shutdown has crippled our airports and TSA.
Mondays, Fridays, and Saturday mornings are always busy here at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. And you look back here, you can see that 120-minute wait posted there, but that's not from this part of the line. That's from the up front part of it. We've already talked to the folks who are right there. They're probably going to miss their flight already. And we've been talking to folks in this line who are preparing themselves and got here early. I want to stop real quick, and I know I talked to you guys a little earlier. Nervous about making your flight? Yes or no?
Yes.
What has this been like?
Hot and just annoying.
I heard the word stressful. What does this feel like standing in this line knowing that you may miss your flight?
Nerves. Like, I'm just nervous and scared. You know, we kind of want to get to where we're going, and it's like we're just waiting. Yeah. We've been stationary for the last 10 minutes, like no movement.
Thank you guys for sharing. Kate, I wanted to stop real quick because this was the end of the line yesterday, and we knew it was really long. We're going to take that walk now and go this way and show you. The line stops here at the end of the atrium, and then we just keep going. Let's not forget yesterday, 38% of the workforce here called out. We're not sure what that will mean today. So you see this line that stretches on for that main checkpoint. This is not where the timer even starts for that 120 minutes. The timer for that starts way back on the other side there. So if you're standing in this part of the line, which snakes around this direction, this is more than 2 hours at this point. Now they're trying to surge in as many workers as they can to help out. But as you see, when we get back to the other part of the airport,
Ridiculous, man.
they have stacked people all the way around. And this is where it connects to the pre-check line. So you understand the pain point here for so many folks who will miss their flights. And depending on what airlines they are dealing with, some folks will be able to get rebooked. Others will have to kind of figure out if they're going to fly a different day. This is just the beginning of that rush hour. Now that it's slammed like this, it could extend a lot longer.
It's crazy. And then to think about that, this is a safety issue. This could become a national threat situation with TSA not showing not enough staff to man and operate throughout the whole airport. It's getting to the point where it's too ridiculous. People are not now just leaving en masse, because I would too. I'm not going to sit here and continue to not receive a paycheck for the duties that I do. Now, and then like the hiring process takes weeks, maybe even months to even get people back on. So think about that outcome as well. These politicians want to play and go back home and receive a paycheck, but they don't have to deal with this BS. They don't have to deal with not knowing when next time they're going to receive a paycheck and be able to pay their bills on time. And I think it's a bunch of crock. I think it's BS. It should be eradicated from our government, that Congress still receives a paycheck when the government is shut down. But I digress. Let's keep it going. Let's review more videos of this craziness that's happening, because this is a safety issue at the end of the day.
All right, I'm still trying to figure out if yesterday I was in an airport or a comedy sketch. So I'm standing in TSA pre-check last night, right? A woman in the regular line starts panicking because I guess she forgot her ID. Now in my head, I'm like, well, that's it for you. Going back to the house. Time to step out of line, make a phone call, phone a friend, whatever, right? You would think so. Wrong. TSA dude looks at her, pauses, asks for her passport. She ain't got that either. And this badge-wearing man, rule-enforcing, national security guarding individual hits her with a smile. Like, oh, there it is. Here it comes. Go ahead.
Wow.
Okay, where is Ashton Kutcher at? Because ain't no way we just turned TSA into Trust and Services of America. She goes off, no ID, no nothing, because she didn't want to miss her plane. And here's the part that fries my brain. Y'all know one of the creators I was just down there with, Barbie. Her plane has somebody's bag beeping on that for like 10 minutes. They start pulling bags down, like, whose bag is this? Whose bag is this? They figure out whose bag it was. Turns out it was like some kind of like a CO2 monitor or something like that, right? I guess those things beep. But you're not thinking that when you're on a plane, right, at 30,000 feet. You got families on there crying, people like freaking out. Plane lands, boom, police sweep the entire aircraft. But on my end, we just letting individuals through without zero identification, like it's a family barbecue. You brought the plus one that nobody knows. Make it make sense. I don't even want to hear there's the procedures line. Yeah, this wasn't that. I know there's procedures lines. I know there's secondary screening verifications, pat downs. Cool. Do that then. Because what I saw was not procedure. That was she looked good. Maybe she'll give me some later. Go ahead. That's what that was. Call it what it is. And let's talk about this ID thing real quick too, because y'all love bringing that. You need an ID for everything. You can't even pick up an Amazon package without ID. But getting on a metal tube at 30,000 feet with hundreds of people, no, you good. Walk it off. Miss me with that. And before any of y'all say, well, why didn't you report it? No, I'm not reporting it. Because in Washington need to stop and pay these people. Pay them what they're worth. Because right now, y'all got out here over it and clearly starting to get lazy. When security gets lazy, that is not a small problem. That's when Joe's left. But let's be clear at the same time. Low pay does not excuse low standards. You still got a job.
That's right, too.
And your job ain't flirting. It ain't vibing. It ain't making judgment calls based on who you think is cute. She still ain't giving you no, bro. Your job is to follow the rules. No ID, no fly. There's the procedure line. Because at the end of the day, one person's mistake shouldn't become everybody's risk.
And that's a fact. And I look at it just simply as that. Congress, get off your ass and do your job before you get some people injured or killed. Like, we're already in a situation with a terroristic regime that wants to end America as it is. So why are we still at this point? I feel like it's like y'all almost want something to happen so that you can just point the finger at each other or just simply just blame the Trump administration. But that's malarkey. That's bull crap. Pay these people just like y'all get paid every month. Or don't take a paycheck. Simple as that. This shouldn't even be an argument. And you don't want to fund TSA, FEMA, and Secret Service, but ICE is still receiving a paycheck. So what is this for? I digress, man. I think it's a bunch of crock, man. But we'll get there. Let's continue.
These airports are fully back up and operational. Chris?
Summer travel season will be here before we know it. My Eaglin.
TSA employees are working without pay. Many are coping with eviction notices and overdrawn bank accounts. Every available financial option has been exhausted. Yet, these officers are still coming to work to protect the traveling public, facing disciplinary action if they do not show up to work.
Lawmakers, listen, we're not Republicans, we're not Democrats, we're not independents. We're just people that come to work every day to do our job. And all we expect you guys to do is do your job. Pay us for what we do. That's all we're asking. Passengers, listen, we're going to do our job. We're going to be professional. We're going to get you through as fast as possible. There might be some delays. Here at DCA, we have a wonderful team. We're doing our job. We're doing our part. So listen, work with us, and we're going to work.
That's right. Congress, just do your damn job. Quit all this lollygagging, quit all these antics, quit all this playing around with people's livelihoods and lives. Because if it was done to you, the government would have been opened up. I guarantee it. But when it's not affecting you, you just let it go. You just let it go. Like, I believe people need to put pressure on their congressman. I really do believe people need to put pressure on them. Because nothing's never going to get resolved or changed. They're going to continue to keep playing these games and playing with people's livelihoods until something happens that it threatens the safety of every individual that works in the airport. I don't want to see nobody pointing fingers. I don't want to see anyone saying it. Well, is it? No, just get the damn job done. And like I said, y'all got to stop letting these people play in y'all face, especially Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. It's mighty funny that he can point out that it's Trump's fault, but ignore questions being asked of him simply because he's playing in y'all faces. But people will go along with this narrative as if Trump doesn't care about this nation or people. But let's review what Hakeem Jeffries stated a few days ago, blaming Republicans in the Trump administration.
In these long lines preparing to travel, who don't care about the finger pointing, who don't care about the politics, they just want Congress to get to some solution. What do you say to them? Why can't this be figured out?
We should be able to get this done today. All Speaker Johnson needs to do is bring the legislation to the floor that will pay TSA agents and reopen the parts of the Department of Homeland Security that have nothing to do with ICE and have nothing to do with Trump's extreme and violent mass deportation machine. That's all that needs to happen. And yet House Republicans and Senate Republicans have consistently rejected paying TSA agents. Why? It's because they don't support getting ICE under control. This is their policy. It's Trump's policy. It's Stephen Miller's policy to use taxpayer dollars to brutalize or kill American citizens, as we've seen with the cold-blooded killings of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. And
now, if Trump was not moving in good faith, why did he send Tom home? Why did he move Greg Bovino? Why is Tom Home in there now? We haven't heard nothing about ICE in the last few weeks. It's been several weeks since we heard anything about ICE, right? Kristi Noem is out. Both of those people are removed. And y'all still do not want to open up the government and blame it on Trump and say they want to pay TSA, but they're not putting their best foot forward and opening up the government so they can pay TSA. Because the fact of the matter is, ICE is still getting paid. So who's telling the truth? It's a bunch of crock. I'm telling you guys. But let's review another video of him making a fool of himself, not answering the question directly, and playing these political games.
So if ICE reforms are what you want to see here, how does a shutdown that doesn't really affect the agency get you there?
First of all, we have until the end of the month to make sure that TSA agents don't miss a single paycheck, and that is our commitment as Democrats.
And see, the reality of it all is ICE is still getting paid. Why do you think that Trump said that he wants to bring in ICE? It's because they're still getting paid, which in fact, I think is a smart idea that we have federal officers, agencies that could be implemented into being the people, the individuals that come in, such as ICE. Because think about it like this. That really cuts down on people, illegal immigration, cuts down on these people that are smuggling in drugs or smuggling things out of America. So I think it's pretty smart, since the Democrats like Hakeem and Chuck want to hide behind the Trump administration and point the finger, versus allowing them to continue to get away with things that they shouldn't even, in public's perception, get away with this. Let's review what Trump had to say.
Fox News alert, President Trump just posting this on Truth Social, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports, where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports. Make America great again. And that comes, as we know, ICE is fully funded for a few years. So he does have the power to do this. And I guess the question remains, does Chuck Schumer continue this and President Trump make good on that promise he just put out on Truth Social?
Be sure to.
And I think I think Trump should do it. I think Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats are going to keep on pushing back and pushing this rhetoric that on reasons why TSA will not be paid, why they having this partial shutdown. And I believe Trump should implement putting ICE in the airports in lay of TSA not being available to work. And even if when TSA come back or whatever the case may be, I still feel like ICE should probably be in our airports. And ICE and Border Patrol be in our airports enforcing policies. When it come down to illegal immigration, when it come down to just travel in general, because all of this at the end of the day is a high risk threat, in my opinion. It should not be this much chaos in the airports. I haven't seen this much chaos in the airports since I was a young man, and after 9/11, when we really started to beef up our policies. And maybe it's time to redo that again, in my opinion. But sippers, sippets, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Mercy. I'm out.